Good morning, everyone. Ooh. Good morning, everyone. They're coming. It's good to have at least one in the crowd, you know? Just one. Well, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Monmouth County. My name is Sari Albertas, and I am presently serving as the chair of the Family Ministry Committee. And just so you know, it says right here on my script, option, add a couple of sentences about your committee or UUCMC entity. So I'm going to be doing that in just a little bit, so hold on, okay? Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you are welcome here. Our mission is to create community, transform ourselves, and transform the world. I draw your attention to the backside of your order of service for announcements and service information for next week. For those on the live stream, I forgot about that, and video viewers, the order of service link is available to you in the YouTube service description box. After the service, coffee will be served in the community room, and people of all ages are welcome to visit with one another. If you are new to us, please do visit our website, where you can sign up to get all the latest news of the congregation by email. We are looking forward to getting to know you better. All right, now I'm going to the advertisement part. So, as I've lived through this life of mine, I have come up with a theory. So my theory is reward needs to be greater than look good on this side. Reward should be always greater than effort, right? There's nothing wrong with effort. It's just the reward should also be right there next to it. So I have an easy way for you to make this happen in your life. If you sign up to be a helper in our classes, our small groups, you, with very little effort, will get a great deal of reward. To be a support person, you need to really just come in and be nice. Smile, help a kid with something. You don't have to prepare anything. You just get to be you. And then you get to have all these little kids that love you, and they'd be like, hi, in the hallway, and they want to talk to you at coffee hour, and they'll like bring you a cookie, and it's fabulous. So please sign up to be, I hope, what do we call it? The support squad. The support squad. That sounds like a superhero thing, which I like a lot. Okay, back to business, sorry. Please put your devices on silent as we enter into worship together. Welcome again to this place of love and hope.
I'm the Reverend Dr. Craig Rubano, and on this final Sunday of summer, and in the dawning of a new year in the Jewish measuring of humankind's relationship with creation, I stress our monthly congregational theme of welcome when I say to you, L'Shana Tova, hoping that the new year will be a good one for all of us. This morning we will celebrate the beginning of a new year in family ministry, and we will impart our communal blessing upon the small group leaders who will guide our children and youth in an important year in their lives. And we will also explore the Jewish high holy days, the days of awe that stretch from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, days of reckoning, days of turning the page on what is past. For us at UUCMC, days of seeking new, vibrant ways of opening a new chapter in our welcoming history as a congregation. And I welcome all of us this morning, those joining us through the miracle of the live stream so ably furnished to us through our new audiovisual system. Also, a warm welcome to all of you joining or rejoining us in the future as you select from our YouTube library offerings this service of worship, with worship defined as a shaping concern of all that is of worth. And of course, those of you here in this beautiful sanctuary that we call the Earth Room, with the stained glass window of the view of Earth from space, a constant reminder of our interconnectedness on this planet and in this universe. Our call to worship, our invitation into this welcoming, comes to us from artist, writer, and minister in the United Methodist Church, the Reverend Jan Richardson. Hear her words as she describes how the welcome we receive in turn becomes the welcome we embody. You hardly knew how hungry you were to be gathered in, to receive the welcome that invited you to enter entirely. Nothing of you found foreign or strange. Nothing of your life that you were asked to leave behind or to carry in silence or in shame. Tentative steps became settling in, leaning into the blessing that enfolded you, taking your place in the circle that stunned you with its unimagined grace. You began to breathe again, to move without fear, to speak with abandon the words you carried in your bones that echoed in your being. You learned to sing. But the deal with this blessing is that it will not leave you alone, will not let you linger in safety, in stasis. The time will come when this blessing will ask you to leave, not because it has tired of you, but because it desires for you to become the sanctuary that you have found, to speak your word into the world, to tell what you have heard with your own ears, seen with your own eyes, known in your own heart, that you are beloved. Precious child of God, of the Spirit of life, of this universe, beautiful to behold. And you are welcome and more than welcome here. Come, let us worship together. This morning I wear a kippah, not because I am Jewish myself, but out of respect for the solemnity of the occasion. In like manner, the musical selections this morning are part of the High Holy Days liturgy. And so to honor the custom of Jewish congregations, we just ask that for this morning you refrain from applause following these prayers that you will hear delivered so breathtakingly beautifully that you will be inclined to applaud. And we begin this morning asking that God hear our prayers, our songs, that we be accepted as we are, and that we be aided in embracing a newly intentional version of ourselves as we enter a new year together. Lishmoa el harina.
Lishmo I invite Paul Sherman to light our chalice this morning, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, with these words called On Belonging by Reverend Karen LeBlanc. This isn't just a place of worship. This isn't just a fellowship of like minds. This isn't just a Sunday morning filled with spirit and topped off with coffee and cookies. This is our church, our congregation, where we are building beloved community, where we are opening ourselves to each other, where we trust and love, rise and fall together. This is where we feel safe. This is where we know we are welcomed. This is where we belong. For this gift and so many others, we light our chalice. Thank you, Paul.
The days of awe are a time for turning, for returning to the land of our souls, as the words of our opening hymn attest. Return to who you are, to what you are, to where you are reborn again. I invite us to stand in body and our spirit and sing hymn number 1011, and on the screens, Return Again.
Greetings, Unitarian Universalists, or should I say, superheroes of love and justice. Today, we welcome our children and youth and kick off another extraordinary year of faith development small groups. These last few weeks, I've been immersed in the world of superheroes as I pored over our new kindergarten through fourth grade curriculum called Superhero Academy. Have you ever wondered what it's like to possess a superpower? The ability to fly, move mountains, or even turn invisible at will? Well, my friends, I have some exciting news. In the grand cosmic league of superheroes, there exists a group of remarkable individuals known as Unitarian Universalist. Their superpowers are not derived from radioactive spiders or krypton, but from a unique and empowering approach to faith development. Welcome to the world where UUism is the ultimate training academy for a life filled with compassion, understanding, and a thirst for justice. Our superpower is acceptance. That's right. We have an extraordinary ability to embrace people just as they are, no matter where they come from, their abilities, who they love, or what they look like. In a world often divided by differences, our superpower unites us in a force field of love and inclusion. Picture this. When we encounter someone different from us, we don't just see them, we see the beauty of their uniqueness. We don't fear their differences, we celebrate them. Our superpower of acceptance breaks down barriers and creates connections where many others see divisions. But that's not all. Our superpower also includes the strength of curiosity. We fearlessly ask tough questions, challenge the status quo, and seek deeper truths, with our minds revealing a path to a more enlightened world. And let's not forget the remarkable talent for justice. When we see injustice, discrimination, or inequality, we don't turn away. Instead, we become champions of fairness, using our voices and actions to right the wrongs and make the world a better place. Our superpower is building the beloved community, where acceptance, respect, and love are the bricks and mortar. In our community, we find strength and support, knowing that we are never alone in our quest to bring more compassion and understanding to the world. It's not just the children and youth that take part in this extraordinary journey. This entire community of all ages come together and must be committed to lifelong learning. And by involving all age groups, we promote the idea that there is more to explore and discover, no matter one's stage in life. We also recognize the importance of involving the entire congregation in running a faith development program. And we emphasize the benefits of multi-generational participation, where younger participants can ask questions and engage with older members, fostering an atmosphere of curiosity and mutual respect, while in turn, older members gain insights into the concerns and perspectives of younger generations. So the next time you wonder about what your superpower is, remember this. Being a Unitarian Universalist is like having a superpower that can change the world. One act of kindness, one act of justice, and one act of love at a time. Today, we honor the special commitment of our small group leaders who will serve as teachers and mentors, sharing their love, time, and talents with the next generation. And we do that with a ceremony called Laying On of Hands. We gather as a congregation to covenant with our small group leaders and youth advisors. Family ministry and faith development is a ministry that is shared by all and is for us all. In our free congregation tradition, every member is called to serve. Every member of this community is a minister with a little m. and has a ministry. Our small group leaders and youth advisors have agreed to take up this ministry with our children and youth. Today, we lift up that ministry. We affirm all of our promises and responsibilities with this ritual of laying on of hands, an ancient ritual symbolizing the act of conferring power by one person to another. And we charge our small group leaders full of spirit, of love, and new growth. This power that we share comes from the people assembled here, with the Spirit moving among us. There are connections that will sustain us over time and call us back to our true purpose when we are lost. I want to invite our small group leaders and youth advisors to come forward, to come on up front here in the middle. Come on up, don't be shy. And the names are on the screens. Not everybody could be here with us today. And if you all would stand next to each other and place a hand upon the shoulder of someone next to you as we begin to make these connections real. And next, I want to invite any members from the Family Ministry Committee that are here. Some of them are already in this group. If there are any other members, come on up and lay a hand upon the shoulder of a leader or advisor. And I want to invite the children and youth and their parents to come forward, and you to lay a hand on the shoulder of a teacher or a committee member. And then I'm going to ask the whole congregation gathered here, whether it's your first time here today or you've been here for years, to stand as you're able or remain seated, but we're going to put our hands upon the shoulder of somebody next to us in a circle around the room until we are all connected together.
With His Spirit running through us, to and from us, we are joined in that interdependent web of life and love in the shared ministry of our precious faith. We are empowered again to be witnesses to love and justice in this world. We empower these leaders to share their hearts and what they know about living a full and faith-filled life. May their ministry be a blessing to us all. May we each be reminded of our deepening connections and the power that lies in our relationships. Leaders, if the day arrives when you feel adrift or unsure of what comes next, I urge you to remember the feeling of this hand on your shoulder. Remember, you are still connected in this mystery. You are not alone. This whole congregation is beside you, is behind you. Whatever challenges we all may face, they will be met together. With honesty and openness, with the support of a loving hand, love will transform us, hold us up, and keep us moving forward. May this blessing carry these leaders and all of us into a bold adventure of a faith ministry together. May this world see peace and know joy because of it. Amen.
Take this power, connection, and blessing with you as you go off to your small groups. May our group leaders, advisors, and children feel this blessing as we sing, "Go Now in Peace."
Go now in peace, go
time for the time of generosity. Every week in this congregation, we are provided with an opportunity to practice generosity. This is your invitation to contribute to the well-being of our congregation and to our area neighbors through the good works of local organizations, which receive half of all the monies collected this month. Our Share the Plate recipient for September is The Source at Red Bank Regional High School. One of its many programs is the Ridge Road Alliance for Suicide Education and Prevention. Red Bank Catholic, Red Bank Regional High School, and Rumson Fairhaven High School all participate in raising awareness for mental health and wellness and suicide education and prevention. For those of you present here in the meeting house, the plates will be passed by the ushers. You may also join this time of generosity via text, sending your offering by mail, or charge your contribution online with a memo designating an amount to The Source at Red Bank Regional High School. Please give generously. Thank you.
A couple of years ago, a college classmate of mine, Abigail Pograbin, wrote a book entitled, charmingly, I think, My Jewish Year, 18 Holidays, One Wandering Jew. The idea was that she would delve deeply into a year's worth of Jewish religious holidays and see whether she would emerge a bit more invested in her relationship to her Jewish heritage, which in a foreword, a childhood friend describes as equivalent to the relationship of the Olive Garden to Italian. She, in essence, was looking to become a bit more authentic. Appropriately, she begins her year of holidays with the preparation for the high holy days of awe, which this year began at sundown on Friday evening with Rosh Hashanah, which literally means the head of the year. Rosh Hashanah marks the beginning of a new start, setting off a 10-day period of introspection, a chance to turn the page, to forgive, and to ask forgiveness, and ending with the solemn commemoration of Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, a day to become at one with the whole of oneself. Whether we grew up Jewish or somewhat, or whether we had any experience with the tradition or not, there are lessons to be learned from beautiful rituals and stories developed over millennia. While in Jewish understanding, nightfall marks the beginning of a new day, when things can be different, the Jewish days of awe inspire us to place renewal at the center of what we do. Now, this is awe in the sense of reverence and wonder. genius, great beauty, sublimity, might, but also dread. In fact, the word awe comes from the Gothic agus for fear. So these days are of great moment, days in which change is possible, and that can be scary. But as Abby discovered, the preparation for the awesome days begins nearly 40 days prior, for the Jewish month of Elul is devoted to looking at different traits in oneself, to see where one is lacking, to see where one's life is too much centered, to set some goals, to begin making repairs to relationships that have gone astray. There's a list of these traits, one for each of the 40 days. See how some of them resonate within you as I read them, and imagine spending a whole day contemplating each one. There are more on the negative side traits like arrogance, anger, cruelty, envy, greed, laziness, pride, regret, and slander. And there are more positive traits like compassion, courage, generosity, gratitude, humility, love, patience, respect, and strength. That's just 18 of the 40. And just like Americans generally go on crash diets a month before summer and the beach, Jews go on a crash course in self-examination, so that when they move in front of the mirror that the days of awe provide, the self that looks back at them is an improvement on what came before. Rosh Hashanah extends for 2 days, a long day, as they say. So this morning we're in the middle of the second day of the holiday. Some of the symbols of this day are on your order of service and the screens. The ram's horn, known as the shofar, whose blasts give the long day its original Hebrew name of Yom Teruah. The apples and pomegranates that are a part of this season, along with honey to augur the sweetness of the year to come. Rosh Hashanah is the spiritual anniversary of humankind's relationship with creation. And as such, I don't think it's an accident that it falls right around the time of the autumnal equinox. The Jewish calendar is based on the moon, but they devised a leap month system to ensure that the beginning of their religious year always lines up with the new moon closest to the autumnal equinox. Because since humans became humans, with an ability to plan and adjust to seasonal imperatives, they celebrated and make sacred those times of the year associated with cyclical change, and by extension, with the realization that humans are uniquely able to effect change in their own lives. And so, a new year, the year 5784, began Friday evening, to be followed by 10 days of self-examination and prayer. These high holy days of awe give us a chance to reaffirm who we are and to make an intentional choice to work on growth for ourselves in order that together we might bring more love and healing and grace into a world that so often seems broken. Rosh Hashanah, a reminder to us all that change is possible, more than possible. Change is a requirement for a life well lived. One of the structuring metaphors of the days of awe, and in keeping with our congregational theme of entering a new chapter together, is the concept that there are books into which our lives are written, added to each year in preparation for the next. This concept of writing in books is the source of the common greeting during this time, L'Shana Tova Chikatev v'chikatemu, or may you be inscribed and sealed for a good year. It is held that while the new installment of each person is inscribed on Rosh Hashanah, it is not sealed until Yom Kippur. The 10 days are therefore an opportunity to give a good thinking through to one's life, the good and the not so good. Central to our theme of welcome this month, then, we can take the impetus of the days of awe to welcome a new reality into our lives. Things can be different. Rabbi Jonathan Blake says that the blasts of the shofar are meant to bolt us awake, saying to us, life doesn't have to be like this. We can change. Our hurting relationships can be better. Our unfounded anxieties and petty fixations need not strangle us forever in their grip. Our accumulated tough scar tissue need not keep us from feeling. Our lives hold possibilities, beautiful opportunities, some of which we've falsely assumed out of our reach, some of which we haven't even dared to dream up. That's Rosh Hashanah, a blast of the possible. Rabbi David Ingber says that the holiday asks of us, please find the places in your life where privilege acts as a block to more meaningful participation in the world, to making the world a better place. What are you holding on to that is constricting your life? What might you let go of? And Yom Kippur, when the book of life will be sealed for another year, asks us to know that our lives are not guaranteed. There is fragility all around us, unpredictability. Yom Kippur asks, if this were the last year you were going to get, who would you be today? Where are the repairs you've been putting off? Who are the people to whom you need to ask forgiveness, whom you need to forgive? Perhaps it is you yourself needing your own forgiveness. Sure, there is fasting and somber things about Yom Kippur, but it ends in dancing, for there is joy in turning the page, in making things new, and in asking for and granting forgiveness. There's an old Hasidic legend that has God tasking 3 angels to go down to earth and bring back the most precious thing in the world. One angel returns with a drop of blood from a person who had sacrificed their life to save another. And God said, indeed, O angel, this is precious in my sight, but it is not the most precious thing in the world. The second angel caught the last breath of a nurse who died from a dread disease contracted in nursing others to help. And God smiled at the angel and said, indeed, O angel, sacrifice on behalf of others is very precious in my sight, but it is not the most precious thing in the world. God turns to the third angel, who brought with them a small vial. In it is a tear shed when someone had asked for and was granted forgiveness. And God beamed upon the angel, saying, indeed, O angel, you have brought me the most precious thing in the world, for it is the tear of repentance which opens the gates of heaven. I intend to keep reading Abby's book as we travel through this year together. Ultimately, what she learned was something about the Jewish holidays that I think exists in its purest form in these first of the year's celebrations. In the words of Rabbi Michael Strassfield, Judaism at its best, the ritually Jewish things, are things that help you pay attention. The holidays are not about doing the Jewishly Jewish things, the things that only Jews do. They are about awareness and mindfulness and paying attention. How do you live a life when you're paying attention? May the gifts of the days of awe be ours for the experiencing. We can pay attention. We can turn the page. We can encourage one another in that turning. There is no better time for embracing a new way of living than right now. Now is the time for seeking reconciliation. And why not now? To begin welcoming the one thing in life that is a constant, change, and making it ours for the savoring. As we begin a new chapter of UUCMC history together, may our lives be full, abundant, meaningful, transformational. May it be so for all of us. I invite us now into a time of prayer and meditation. I ask that we hold in our prayers and hearts Judy Stevens upon the sudden and unexpected death of her sister late this past week. She's in California. Craig Sunada's mother has had a hard cancer diagnosis. Let's hold Craig and Betsy in our care as they negotiate their plans to fly Craig's parents to live with them in New Jersey. And the people of Libya are suffering unimaginable loss from the aftermath of 2 dams failing. In the seaside town of Derna alone, population 80,000, nearly 12,000 are confirmed dead. In the silence, let us lift up all of our concerns as well as our joys this week. And in the spirit of the Jewish holidays, these words by UU minister, the Reverend Lois Van Leer, that we might all let go of those things that hold us back from being our fully authentic selves. Let go of all that binds you, of all that burdens you, of what you carry, of all that shames you. Let go of fear, of trespasses and transgressions, of woundedness. Let go of guilt. Let go of anger. Let go of small-mindedness and pettiness, of ways of being that no longer work for you, of compulsions that consume your living. Let go of what you cannot change. Let go of regret, of that which haunts you. Let go of pain. Let go of ways in which you missed the mark. Let go. and let us continue in prayer. The days of awe end with the service of Yom Kippur. Sometime in the 600s of the Common Era, during a time of widespread persecution and inquisition, many Jewish persons were forced to vow conversion, at least outwardly, to Christianity. Since that time, a powerful prayer, often sung, has been a part of the first Yom Kippur service of the day. In the Kol Nidre, all vows are annulled temporarily in order that congregations might pray in spirit, if not in physical presence, with all the faithful, that the diasporic forcibly converted might be reunited in the Jewish faith of their inward selves. Let us hear now the Kol Nidre. We move into the closing moments of our service this morning with a five-fold sequence of blasts on the shofar that serve as a summons, a realization of brokenness, a celebration of ability to change, a determination to enter that process, and a final resolve to begin anew. I will describe each of the blasts, and then Paul Sherman, as he has for so many years, will gift us them on the shofar. First is the tekiah, from taka, for to play, which indicates the blowing of wind into the instrument. It is an alert, a long note that summons us to attention. The tekiah. Next are the shivarim, the plural noun taken from the verb shavar, to break or fracture. These are three twice-pulsed notes sounding like sobs, perhaps a broken-hearted contemplation for what in the past could now use some attention or amends. These blasts are symbolic of the place from which we will travel, what we will leave behind. The shivarim. Next is the tirua, the word related to the verb heiria for a cheer or a cry. The tirua is both an alarm and a celebration of sorts, a shaking ourselves out of inaction into the action of retrospection and change, and is a series of short staccato sounds that celebrate our ability to rouse ourselves from routine toward novelty. The tirua. Next, what is typically the final sequence of Rosh Hashanah, another tekiah, like the one that started us off, and which with a strong blast of intentionality propels us into the days of awe, in which the work of self-improvement and amends take place. The second tekiah. And finally, the sound which ends the service of Yom Kippur, the tekiah gadola, a great tekiah, a burst of determination that sends us into the pages of a New Year's book, a turning toward greater embrace of our best selves, most powerfully approximated with care and community. The tekiah gadola. May our New Year's be sweet in the knowledge that we are empowered to change, to join with one another for support, and to live into our better selves with greater intention. Thank you, Paul. I invite us to remain seated as I lead us in our final sung prayer, our closing hymn, in Hebrew, the Hashivenu, number 216 in the gray hymnals and on the screens. The English meaning of the words are, "Turn us toward you, Holy One, that we might return. Renew our days, now as of old." I will sing it once and then ask you to join me in singing it through a second time. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Chadesh, Yameinu Our words of benediction come to us from poet, philosopher, and Roman Catholic priest, the Reverend Dr. John O'Donohue. May all that is unforgiven in you be released. May your fears yield their deepest tranquilities. And may all that is unlived in you blossom into a future graced with love. L'Shana Tova. Let us go in peace to bless the world.